A man defied Alzheimer's for 2 decades. Scientists want to know how. Can you guess what actor Robin Williams, former US President Ronald Reagan, and former Prime Minister of the UK Margaret Thatcher had in common? Yes, they were all successful, well-known people, but they also had to battle Alzheimer's. This goes on to prove how this dreaded disease can impact people from all walks of life. More than 6 million Americans are currently living with Alzheimer's. CDC projects the number will rise to 14 million by 2060. But scientists have come across a sliver of hope that says Alzheimer's could one day become a disease of the past. A man destined to develop Alzheimer's due to genetics successfully prevented it for decades. Scientists are currently working to find out how this could hold a cue for the prevention and treatment of Alzheimer's. Does this mean we finally have a concrete action plan against dementia and Alzheimer's? Can common people do something to reduce their risk of getting this life-altering disease? Let's find out. Scientists are currently baffled by a man who was part of a large family in Antioquia, Colombia. The family became particularly interesting to scientists because multiple family members inherited a mutated gene called presenilin-1, or PSEN1. This particular gene almost guarantees developing Alzheimer's disease at a relatively younger age. But one man in the family with the same gene kept functioning normally for decades longer than he should have. He should have developed thinking and memory problems decades earlier. But that didn't happen until he got to the age of 72. And even at that age, he was diagnosed with just a mild case of the disease. He eventually died of pneumonia at the age of 74. Doctors examined his brain after death and found that he was protected by a rare gene change. This directly enhances the function of a particular protein, which helps nerve cells communicate better. This protein is called Urine, and the discovery gives a huge insight. If we somehow find a way to enhance Urine protein, it would protect the very specific parts of your brain that control memory and thinking. More cases of people preventing the onset of Alzheimer's. This wasn't the first case scientists have studied to find preventative measures for Alzheimer's. Back in 2019, scientists reported about a woman who escaped Alzheimer's until her 70s. She too had 2 copies of a change in her gene that decreased the activity of a particular protein, called APOE3. This protein is responsible for signaling a molecule that plays a role in shaping a person's risk for Alzheimer's. So, is there any link between the 2 cases? As it turns out, yes. Both the Urine and the APOE had the same receptor cells. So, what does this mean in simple language? These discoveries imply the possibility of a pathway to protect against Alzheimer's, and these 2 patients are pointing us toward that pathway with giant arrows. It's only a matter of time before we discover effective protective strategies and treatment plans for Alzheimer's. What is Alzheimer's? Do you know anyone with Alzheimer's? Given how widespread this disease has become over the last few decades, chances are high you do know someone fighting Alzheimer's. It doesn't impact just the patient, but frustrates caregivers and families as well. It can be challenging to take care of a loved one struggling with this disease. But what is this disease exactly? What are its early signs and symptoms? Alzheimer's is a progressive form of dementia, which is a broader term for health conditions that negatively impact your memory, thinking, behavior, and cognitive abilities. The impact can be mild to severe, but mostly progresses with time, such that it interferes with daily living. There's no permanent cure for Alzheimer's right now. However, there is treatment available to slow the progression of the disease. Quick facts about Alzheimer's. You may have heard about Alzheimer's before, but there's no harm in knowing 9 facts about it so you're well aware of this condition. Number 1. Alzheimer's is not a typical sign of aging. Number 2. It's a long-term ongoing condition. Number 3. Alzheimer's and dementia aren't the same. Alzheimer's is a type of dementia. Number 4. People over the age of 65 and with a family history of the disease are more at risk. Number 5. This doesn't mean you cannot get Alzheimer's at a young age. There's early onset Alzheimer's that shows symptoms when you're young. Number 6. You don't wake up one day with Alzheimer's occurring out of the blue. It comes on gradually, and its effects on your brain show up slowly. Number 7. There's no single outcome of this disease. Some people undergo mild cognitive damage and live with it throughout their lives, while others might experience a quicker disease progression with a far more devastating impact. Number 8. Though there's no complete cure for Alzheimer's, it doesn't mean you stop treatment. The right kind of treatment can significantly improve your quality of life and slow the progression of the disease. Number 9. Each person's journey with Alzheimer's is unique. Do not compare with other people's symptoms. Early signs and symptoms of Alzheimer's. Now that you know about Alzheimer's and its impact, let's discuss the symptoms. Remember, not every case of forgetfulness signals anything serious. It's okay to have episodes of it from time to time. Given the stressful and busy lives we live, it's okay to cut yourself some slack. However, there are 10 symptoms you should look out for, especially if they seem to worsen over time. Number 1. Trouble performing day-to-day tasks like using a microwave. Number 2. Forgetting important details related to daily activities like keeping appointments. Number 3. Worsening problem-solving skills. Number 4. Decreased personal hygiene. Number 5. Increased lapses in judgment. Number 6. Unexpected changes in personality, mood, and behavior. Number 7. Troubled speech and writing. Number 8. Becoming disoriented about places or times. Number 9. Decreased interest in hobbies one usually loved. Number 10. Withdrawal from family, friends, and community. Please bear in mind this list isn't exhaustive. Never try to self-diagnose Alzheimer's. Instead, consult with a doctor if you suspect Alzheimer's. Can you reduce your risk of getting Alzheimer's? If science has taught us anything, it's that there's always scope for hope. It is entirely possible that scientists can develop a permanent cure for this disease over the next few decades. Currently, extensive research is going on to find preventative measures for Alzheimer's. Studies have found there are 8 risk factors you can work on to reduce your likelihood of getting Alzheimer's. These are 1. Physical activity, 2. Obesity, 3. High blood pressure, 4. Diabetes, 5. Smoking, 6. Binge drinking, 7. Hearing loss, and 8. Depression. You can modify your lifestyle to develop healthy habits, which in turn can help keep Alzheimer's away. This means you need to stay active and exercise regularly. Aim to prevent chronic diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure. In case you already have them, manage these diseases well by following a treatment plan and eating well-balanced meals. When you stay active, you'll be able to manage your weight better. While you're at it, make sure you quit smoking and avoid excessive drinking. Prevent hearing loss, and if it does happen, correct it with the help of a professional. And the most important part, get enough sleep every day. Do you have a family member dealing with Alzheimer's? Have you been a caregiver for anyone before? Share your experiences in the comments below. Interested in knowing more about health and nutrition? You can watch our other health-related videos to learn about living a long, happy, and disease-free life. We'll see you there.